said, so where are you from? She said, I'm from Tennessee. I'm all about Tennessee. I said, well, what part of Tennessee? She tells me that she's from Tullahoma, or the area of Tullahoma. That she is previously a vocal coach. And again, I hope you read her bio because it's interesting. She's a writer. That always interests me, that people can take their creativity and share it with other people. She could drop names if she chose to. You can look at the Bible again and see people she's worked with, experiences that she's had. But you also see that she has mastered the toe wedge. And for those of you who are golfers, would-be golfers, want-to-be golfers, she may not have mastered the sand wedge, but she's mastered the toe wedge. So, if you will, let's give a warm welcome to Donna Martin, one of our own.
Woo! Come on, give it up, give it up, give it up. Everybody, get up on your feet. We're the best they'll ever be. Retired teachers of Tennessee. We're the best they'll ever be. Retired teachers of Tennessee. We're the best they'll ever be. Retired teachers of Tennessee. All right, now give yourself a round of applause. Get fired up. All right, now I know people out there can anyone hear or see my voice? I'm sure that you can. Good morning, superheroes. Good morning. You are superheroes. You have survived teaching's public school, and you have done an exceptional job. Bravo. And you did all of that without even a Valium salt lick in the teacher's lane. You did, straight up. Straight up. And man, things are crazy. TEA, the director over here, was telling us about all of these, the pandemic. We have inflation. We have gas prices off the chart. We have all of these big issues that are going on, and it's just crazy. Food shortages. It's so bad that people are beginning to trade sex for food. Well, I've got a Klondike bar. I got a Klondike bar out of it. So, well, meet the OG, the original gangster of the Bionic Woman. Don't get behind me at the airport. I have so much metal in my body that I set off the metal detector at the public library. I turned around and I told my friend, I said, you did not bring your gun up in here. It was me. I was the one setting it off. If you are behind me at the airport, you're going to miss your connecting flight. That's almost guaranteed. Now, do I get the very handsome, Hispanic, tall, good-looking TSA worker on this side? No, I get the Bolshevik lesbian with a mustache over here to fill me up all the way over. And it's like both knees, both shoulders. I say, well, I get it. I don't look out. And boy, I tell you what, you can feel your age. And it's not for sissies. Getting older is not for sissies. And we're not near done yet. I know I'm getting older. I got a Fitbit for Christmas, and it said call 911. I put a quarter in a slot machine, got 3 prunes. What's that about? And I can't be an organ donor. On the back of my license, I got a list of organs I need. Y'all bring to me. And what's up with all these advertisements for these new medications? Like, we're medical specialists. We should go into the doctor and say, I want some Eliquis, and I want some Viagra, and I want some of this. I don't know what this stuff is for, but you ever hear them? Here's what they do on the side effects. Make all sleepiness, drowsiness, constant urination, anal seepage. Anal seepage? I'd rather die of the disease than the cure. Try losing weight at our age. Oh, I have to stick my arm out and see if I'm walking or rolling. Last time I got on the scales, it said 1 at a time, They're taking over the country one nail salon at a time. You got to have a long nail, one nail, long nail. You so say they make you look like cheerleader. You get so pretty, make you look like cheerleader. This hot weather out here today reminds me so much of whenever we used to have to make home visits. Remember doing that and taking book bags full of school supplies to children? Every kid got a book bag. Of course, first day of school they come in there and have pencils. You know, Mama done sold us a paper table or crack or something. Anyway, it's always 150 degrees. And we go in the worst possible neighborhoods. And you have to walk by 3 drug deals. Ladies, y'all would like to have some, hey man, you know, a nickel bag day. You interested in some pills or something? And you think, we have a hard time getting up and going to school in the mornings. These kids, what they have to go through. But look, they're used to it. The ice cream truck plays helter-skelter out there. I heard a kid go to the ice cream truck and he ordered 2 marijuana cigarettes and a Molson Golden. And the ice cream man ran him off and said, "We only sell American beer, kid. Get out of here." Let's talk about rough. And what about some of the things we chose to ignore when we were teaching? Commentary by kids. Commentary. I had a kid walk in one morning and he had this blonde streak right down the top of his head. And there was an office in between the band room and the choir room. And I was in there talking to the band director, and she and I were talking, and this kid walks in, and we both just kind of snickered and laughed. We didn't say anything. There was a door there. And I heard this kid say, "Justin, you look like a cow." It was a kid talking, pissed right on top of your head. And I mean, we just bent over, busted a gut, laughing, because that's exactly what it looked like. And we just ignore that. You just have to roll over a lot of that stuff. And the kids were cracking up. I mean, what can you do? And then, have you ever had a Nazi principal? I mean, a Nazi, power-hungry woman that just, I mean, it was just terrible. The parents hate her. She's the most hated woman in 3 counties. And here's what's funny about it. She always got the karma back. We didn't really have to do anything. Well, you know, guess who runs sound at most schools? Music teacher. Miss Mark, we're having an assembly today, and the sound system turned on. Everybody said it all up. Yes, ma'am. She didn't know I gave her the microphone that I used at the basketball game the night before, and the battery had been long dead. So I hated for her look. And it would always irritate me whenever they would want to come in and do an unannounced observation, and they can't find middle C on the piano. It's like, are your children, we have this rubric. Are your children group? Yeah, I've got soprano, alto, tenor, bass. What else for you? What's next on your rubric? I don't care about your rubric. See those trophies over there? The state says we're good. We're winning. Get it? Get it? You know, and one of the funniest things that ever happened is, you know how they always have these tall ceilings in the schools? It's like whoever constructs school buildings are stupid, or some of these architects, because there's like dead air. You know, they have the ceiling tile and then 12 more feet to the roof. Well, what's that wasted space? All that heat and air is going straight up. We had a big brain, a deluge of brain. And here is the principal leaning over. She had on her daughter's knee boots. Like she looking on like Princess Diana that day. She looking all fine with her fine self. And she's leaning over the salad bar. And all of a sudden, a ceiling tile bust. And watch her one eye well here. She looked like a drowned rabbit. Couldn't control the kids laughing. And it was like, what can you say? I mean, she was asking for it. She was asking for it. But anyway, you know, somebody like that coming in your classroom and giving you an observation that your career is based on some number is ridiculous. What about peer observations? What about somebody that reads music? You can't even find a sub. They kept talking about vacancies. My old job, they've gone through 10 music teachers, and this last year, 0. 0 applicants, no music teacher there. After that champion program, think how the high school programs are going. Vocal music basically just dissipated because of the pandemic. It just went away. And so many of these kids are getting music scholarships. They're going into education, music education, and that kind of thing. And those are just not options for them. The programs have just gone away. We'd love to get a choir to come and sing for our association luncheons. They're not allowed field trips, or they're still standing 5 feet apart. Well, you can't sing that way. So, but there was nothing more moving. Yes, we had some crazy things that happened at school, and I want to hear from you all in just a minute on some of the most funny, bizarre things that you can't make this stuff up. But there was nothing more moving than directing this big choir and them making beautiful music. Oh, it was like the breath of God. It was beautiful. And right behind that, here comes the show choir, and nothing funnier than an 8th grade girl in a red sequin dress with rhinestone earrings belting out ain't no mountain high enough with a mouthful of braces. And she wore it out. Wore it out. We've all had those moments. You know, those magical moments when you see those lights come on. And it's like we all know, teaching is a calling. It's not a profession. It's not a career. It's not a job. It's a calling. If your heart's not in it, then you shouldn't be here. And unfortunately, many are learning that right away. They come into teaching and they drop out. They get out. Or their husbands make them quit. You know? And now we're talking about vouchers and charter schools and all this. And it's like, when are parents going to be accountable? You know, teacher accountability. I think if your kid does the crime, you both do the time. The end. There used to be commercials that came on TV that said, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Now it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your mama is? Have you seen Mama now? Trisha's out there in her truck, her feet still swole. You know, when I was a freshman, going back and forth to Tennessee Tech from Tullahoma, on that 2-lane road they had back then, all I had was AM radio, AM. And there was this guy who would come on from some hillbilly church somewhere. Not anything wrong with hillbilly church, but I mean, this guy would get the foaming at the mouth. And I had no choice but to listen to him. That's all that was on the radio. And his name was Brother Esco Compton. Well, good afternoon, friends and neighbors, and welcome to the radio broadcast. We don't believe in drinking. We don't believe in fornication. We don't believe in pornography. We don't believe in nothing. But if you just send in a little love offering, a little contribution to the radio broadcast. Now let's flip Brother Esco's message. We don't believe in charter schools. We don't believe in vouchers. We don't believe in public school money being diverted to other things. We don't believe in nothing being taken away from public schools. There you go. We believe that teachers should receive a high enough wage that their children are not eligible for free and reduced lunch. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, let's face it, we're in a marketing situation here. We all got to learn some marketing skills. Number one, assume the customer will buy. Assume your member, your retiree is going to join. Just start filling out the paperwork. Congratulations. Press hard 5 copies. Assume they're going to buy. Number 2, you plan on keeping your insurance. Be prepared for objections. And you never ever say, well, it only costs $6.25 a month or whatever your fees are. No, your total monthly investment is. It doesn't cost you anything. It's going to cost you not to be in here. It's going to cost you. Your total monthly investment in your future is. And always be prepared for objections. Well, I don't know if I can afford it yet. I'm sure we can take that right out of your TCRS pension and you won't even miss it. Okay? And it's great to be with like-minded, educated, fun people. And we give away scholarships. We do so much for the school systems, for the schools. We're in these schools. We are delivering goodies for teacher appreciation when the parents were afraid to go and do anything. And or here's one. I hate this. I just don't agree with all this stuff in NEA newspaper. Well, quit reading it. We are not NEA. We are NEA retired. We do not endorse candidates nor their ideologies. We all on our own. So, I want to hear from you now. I'm going to come down there. We've got just a few more minutes, and I want to come down there, and let me share something, so you'll know how far to go. We have had some bizarre things happen. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Donna. We have had some bizarre things happen in closed school. I mean, from the cracking microphone all the way down to the gully washer that washed the principal away, all the way to a kid getting picked up in a limo. And we wondered, where in the world is she going? And come to find out, she was going to be on Geraldo back then, the next day. And the topic was, this she's in 7th grade. I'm having sex with my sister's husband. So every time, we recorded that, the library did. Every time we would get all down the mouth about something, let's go down to the library and watch Brandy. Let's go watch Brandy. We would go sit around the TV down there in the library and play that tape for us. Now, I know you have some wild, bizarre stories. Metro, Shelby County, I know y'all got them. Come on, get your hand up. I want to hear from you. Come on, share something. Am I have to bribe you? Tell me something funny. Tell me a funny story. You got something? Some kid did. Some a principal did. Something. Okay, here we go. We got one. A parent had to run off. That's a good one. Yeah, I had to run a parent off. Well, hold on.
I taught 8th grade for 10 years, so I'm not afraid of anything. And one year we were having end of the year field day kind of thing, except it rained. And so we were doing it in the gym. We were having a relay race. And this one kid was so determined to win that he ran into the wall, stuck out both hands, broke both arms. He now owns a newspaper in my county and has a whole passel of kids. And you know what? They homeschool them.
We said, have you ever seen a homeschool kid come in the cafeteria? They come in and they're like, what? You mean I'm not first? Where's my lunch? They can't navigate the cafeteria. That's not, are you lost as last year's Easter egg? Miss Martin, somebody wrote something nasty in the bathroom. Well, that's life. Get ready for the real world. You've been in that little shell over there. Now you go out in the real world and just totally tweak out. You can't, and then they go to the gym and think they should have the ball all the time. It's always their turn. No, that's not the real world. Sorry, kiddo. And when they go to the lunch line, it's like, you want the yellow lunch or the brown lunch? Pick one, kid. Move it. Move it. We gotta move it. You want the brown lunch or the yellow lunch? Thank you, Michelle Obama. Thank you. Move it. Move it. You ever had cafeteria duty? Who else has got some great stuff? Here's one. I love these. I love these.
I'm Stephen Henry from Nashville, but I brought along with me my 3rd grade teacher, my mom. We lived in a small town in northwest Tennessee, South Fulton, small town, everybody knows everybody's business, and everybody knows everybody. So it's not uncommon that we're out and about and someone will say hello to mother. Like a couple Sundays ago, first grader that she taught 70 years ago was there. Well, that happened last summer at Walmart. So I asked mother afterwards, I said, did you recognize her? And she said, no, her hair was darker then. She was 76 and had taught for 40 years also. But that's my mom.
Bravo! We love mama. But here in the South, it's always, how's your mama now? Well, Creature's out there in the truck, her feet still swollen. You know, how's your mama now? What about them balls? If you're in Alabama, what about them dogs or whatever? How's your mama now? Yeah, and then you say, bless her heart, she can't help me so ugly, but she could stay at home, bless her heart. I've seen better faces on the iodine bottle, but, you know, but she could stay home, bless her heart. We tied the pork chop around her neck, get the dog to play with her. She was so ugly, bless her heart. Little fine can't make sweet tea, bless her heart. You know, can't make banana pudding, you can't be a Southern Belle. Okay, who has something else? Tell me something just crazy. Something, okay, here's one. I want something just nuts. Yes, I'm great.
As you said earlier, you cannot make this stuff up. Had a new assistant principal, I was a principal at the time, had a new assistant principal sent to me the second week he was on the job. I am up to my eyeballs probably in teacher evaluations. He comes in and he says, elementary school over across the street, somebody has taken human fecal material. They've written S-H-I-T on the bathroom wall. And I said, okay, well, figure it out. You know, I'm going about my business. He comes back late that afternoon, grinning, ear to ear. And he said, I solved it. I said, how'd you solve it? He said, I measured from the floor. Since it was in the boys' restroom, I had all the boys at school to line up in the elementary building. And he measured down and he said, second grade. How did you know who did it? He smelled his hands.
We have a winner. We have a winner. That's a winner. That's a winner. That's hilarious. Who's on eye level with that, you know? All right, line them up. Okay, we got one more over here. We might have time for another. Okay. These are great. And y'all are just we can staff a whole school system here. We can start our own charter school. Make the state pay for it.
My name is Clarence White, and I'm from Metro Nashville. And I was one of those math teachers. This is really something. I believe in humor, and I would always start my class with a joke. They say you're supposed to do it the other way, but I do a joke. And so I was a new teacher, and I was teaching at a white suburban school. And I said, well, I've got to always tell really clean jokes. So I thought of a clean joke and told it, which was, what's the first thing an Eskimo mother teaches her young? Of course, the answer is never eat yellow snow. And so I do my little joke, and you know, I recycled, did it for years. And I did my little joke, and one day, a young lady came up to me after I did the joke at the end of the class and said that she was an Eskimo. I could not believe it here in Nashville, Tennessee. And it turns out she was. Her name was Debbie. So I said, I'm going to retire that joke. And as we do in Metro sometimes, we get transferred. And this is about 10 years later, and I was at another middle school at this time, and I dusted my joke out. What's the first thing an Eskimo mother teaches his young? Never eat yellow snow. You won't believe it. And I checked, and he was. As a matter of fact, he always would try to sit by the window because he wanted to really be outside. But to me, what was the odds, and I'm a man, of getting two Eskimos, and you're calling yourself being, you know, trying to not to be, you know, diverse. Yeah, I don't want to offend any race, but two Eskimos in my years of teaching.
Back to back at different schools. That don't matter too. Watch out there, let's go. Don't you weekend, let us know. Okay, Donna signaling me to wind it up. I think I'm about ready for some lunch. And I want y'all all to go out and see if you can get you a Honda car. I got me one. Thank you so much.
Donna,